dry glass for a start. Anything wet ain't going to work. So it's poured in, always down the side, never straight up. I'm usually much better at drinking it than I am pouring it, but I've had my experience of pouring it as well. So it's always on the side of the glass. Fill it 3/4 of the way up. And then after you fill it 3/4 of the way up comes the most irritating part. Because if you go into some bars, especially around the world, that don't know what they're doing, they'll just fill it up and set it up and wait for it to do that. But the proper way of doing it is filling it up 3/4, and then you have to wait until it settles. So if you go into a good Irish pub anywhere around the world, one that's selling a lot of Guinness, you'll usually see a lot of that just set up either underneath or on the bar, so you don't have to wait an awful lot for the Guinness to settle. So when it does settle in a minute or two, then I'll just top it off. But this is the worst time, because when you look at it, you really want to sip it and drink it, but you can't. That's just can't. That's bad. That's one of the unwritten rules. You can't touch it until it settles. So this has got to settle now, eventually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Come on. It's getting there now. You can see what I mean. It gets a little bit irritating when you have to keep waiting for the Guinness to settle. But it's almost done. Almost. I just did, and then you go. If we had a proper Guinness tap, you'd push it that way, but this one doesn't go that way. So anyway, I'll just finish it off this way, but go very slow for the last little bit. And then if you want to get really creative, you put a little shamrock on top. But I've been known to put other things on top, but I think we better not go into that. So it's just finishing off now. And personally for me, I like my Guinness with about that size of head, maybe just a little bit more. But again, it's just got to settle now. And this is the second most irritating bit, whenever you've got to wait for it to settle. And it'll settle now in a second. As it settles, the head will get a little bit bigger and bigger and bigger. You see a bad pint of Guinness, and it's got a little small head on it. And when you drink it, if you know the Guinness is any good or not, as you drink it, you can almost see as you've had how many sips that you've had out of it, because you'll see a line of where it stops, where it stops, where it stops. Each sip you should see a little bit of a line going around the glass. So I've been told, allegedly. So it's almost settled. I'd love to lift it and drink it, but you can't. A little bit more. And that's almost a decent pint of Guinness. And if I was that way inclined, I'd probably lift it and have a little bit of a sip of it myself. But because I'm on a diet, I'm not allowed to do that. But I'm going to break the rules and taste it, see if it's any good. It's almost settled, but cheers.